Hello everybody, this is Debo with Debo's Film Reviews here, and this week's review will be Mission Impossible 2. Starring, of course, Tom Cruise as Ethan Hunt, Fanny Newton as Nia Hall, Dougray Scott as Sean Ambrose, featuring Ray Shaberja as a Russian doctor, Ving Rhames as Luthor, and Anthony Hopkins as the so-called IMF chief, which, in my opinion, is about the closest thing you get to seeing him playing an M in a Bond movie. Mission Impossible is about like the Americanized equivalent, especially at this point of nearly 7 to 8 movies coming out. With this second one just come out and with a similar plot to that was later rehashed for Hobbs and Shaw and Fast and Furious, of a bioterrorist and who was an ex-IMF agent who got fired and just renegade, and then of course part of the mission is Hunt having to acquire Nia Hall, who's a jewel thief. Call some elements of Lupin the Third and the Saint in that mix. With John Woo's excellent direction, and one I might as well say is his best PG-13 movie. But hey, anyone knows action is old John Woo. I mean, I'd say he's a lot better at R-rated movies, but this one right here is about his best PG-13 movie. Definitely just cranked up the action from the first movie. And of course, a lot of badass action scenes and gunplay, which of course you'd expect from the likes of Mr. Wu, and amount of face mask reveals that twists and turns that look like you'd think M. Night Shyamalan directed from the used to twists and turns in this movie, from how the old Russian doctor thinking that he's meeting Ethan under a code name Dmitri, and then of course Dougray Scott just pretty much just knocking out of the park in his best villain role, and just which is something because in a more cliched type role. And that old side dude who looked like the action scenes is pretty much what made this movie stand out, from that like car chase in the beginning when he's trying to recruit Miss Hall, and then of course I had that spin out wreck, and I'm just like, yeah, Nia Hall, you couldn't outrace Told Cold Trickle now, could you? And then the whole motorcycle chase, and I'm just, on the scene where he just pressed the brakes and stopped. Talking about some rednecks. That's your equivalent to some redneck smoke screen right there. All little badass stunts and old fight using the bikes as weapons and all, and then all the old lab shootout and oof, on the badassery right there, and the whole homage stunt that was an homage to the first movie where he sneaks in through the maneuvers. And I gotta give it to old Anthony Hopkins. He knocked it out of the park on this role. Surprised he didn't come back for the sequels if he's going to take on roles of Chief, and compared to sequels where he's just giving missions, just giving it a little document, and just with the whole this message was self-destruct in 5 seconds, compared to the other sequels where he had Alec Baldwin and Angela Bassett, try to be superiors. Mostly Baldwin, but I'll get to those when I get to those sequels. And overall, I gotta give it an excellent soundtrack from the beginning with like that Limp Bizkit song, and which is saying something, because I don't even like a couple. They only get, yeah, you couldn't, when Limp Bizkit, you couldn't really make ask me to make a top 10 list of their songs, but yeah, they were, they weren't bad for back then, but I got a minute of the movie soundtrack that had Metallica declare war on Napster. And of course, this one also one of the best roles that Fanny Newton's ever played. But overall, I got to give this one a definite 5 out of 5 masterpiece. Great action, great directing, great cast. I mean, can't go wrong. Can't go wrong with John Woo. I mean, there were some plot holes in it, but according to Internet Movie Database, but John Woo wanted to make a longer cut, but Paramount told him 2 hours max per on the movie. Which has me thinking, I kind of want to see a Woo cut of this, but hey, at least Mission Impossible manages to crank out more sequels, remain successful enough to do so anyway. Which this one's a definite 5 out of 5. Alright, y'all, that'll do it for this week. Peace, and I'll keep dishing them out.